Hello and welcome to Enter the Nerdosphere. This week, things are a little bit different. We're putting out 6 mini episodes covering everything out of the E3 press conferences because it's E3 week. We love video games and we never get to talk about them because we're always talking about superheroes. So this time we're talking about video games. And this episode, we're going to talk about one of the 2 heavy hitters, Microsoft. Right out of the gate, let's talk about the press conference.
Boom!
Microsoft came out with its typical, here's a real-life sweet car with famous people talking about stuff and bros.
Here is my beef with Microsoft press conferences. Microsoft always comes out and they're trying to sell a brand. That is like
they're trying to sell a lifestyle.
Yeah, they're still trying to convince you that gaming is cool. Which at this point, gaming is life. Like gaming is average life now. You don't need to convince everyone it's cool.
Everyone games to some extent.
You've got the president of Microsoft or Xbox coming out in his leather jacket. Yeah. You know, it's like, this is fantastic. But they come out immediately talking about the tech first, not about the games that are going to be coming out. They're also like, we're here to show you 45 games a day. It might not all be great, but we're going to show you 45 games. And we're so awesome.
Well, the biggest thing to come out of the Microsoft press conference was, of course, the announcement of the Xbox X.
Xbox One X.
Yeah, which, as a lot of people thought it was going to be a brand new console, people with the most knowledge said it was just going to kind of be a more powerful PS4 Pro, which that ended up being the case. It is just a... Goodness gracious. Excuse me. It is just a mid-cycle upgrade, just like the PS4 Pro. It brings it's got some power under it, but it really honestly means nothing. It means nothing because games that come out for it still have to run on Xbox One.
Exactly. Which is the biggest thing.
Which is the same deal with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, you're going to get your 4K upscale, but it's the same thing.
It's not.
So there's no point. Like everybody, let's use Destiny as an example because I'm a huge Destiny nerd, and there's been a lot of discussion behind it being 30 frames per second on console, which everyone thought it was going to be 60. On PC, you can have whatever your rig can handle, which is 60 plus. And everybody was like, well, Scorpio's going to come out and it's going to run 60. Guess what? No, it's running 30 because that's what the game was designed to do on console, and they are not making a different build. It's all the same. So you're going to get your upscale to 4K just like your PlayStation 4 Pro. But other than that, I mean, you're not gaining anything.
It's just pomp and circumstance, basically. Like, look, I have cool hardware in my console, but I will never see it used.
That's exactly what it is. It's so that the super tech nerds, or just so the Xbox bros
or elitists,
the Xbox elitists can say my system's more powerful. Well, I really don't care because
it's about the games.
It's about the games for one, and the first party exclusives are not on Xbox. They're on PlayStation or they're on Nintendo. And they are going to deliver pretty games that I want to play.
True.
So,
because the truth is, we're going to run down our top games of this conference, and
they're
the ones we're most excited
multi-platform.
Are on all platforms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's another big thing is that they talk about how they have the largest, most diverse gaming library, and I'm like, that's BS, bro. That's not even true.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many indie games that they're going to have exclusively, but there's no way. I was live tweeting the conference, and I follow a lot of YouTubers and stuff, and there were several of them that were like, what?
Right.
Because they know.
And so, like, my biggest gripe with Microsoft is that they come out, they're trying to sell this lifestyle. They talk about the tech first and not the games. And they're trying to shove down quantity over quality. And they still don't seem to understand this part of the game, especially when PlayStation 4s are out selling them like 5-1. You still are playing...
Well, not anymore.
Well, yeah. But you're still playing catch-up. In that 45-game montage, there's a lot of cool things to be seen, but it's completely overshadowed by just the utter filth and trash that's being crammed in front of it and behind it. And it's just like boom, boom, one after the other. And it was very exhausting.
Yeah. But there was a lot of positives.
With all that being said,
Anthem.
Oh my gosh.
phenomenal.
Looks
oh my
so
goodness.
good. BioWare is making it.
Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with BioWare, they've brought you things like Mass
KOTOR.
Effect. And KOTOR.
It's a third-person shooter, which I'm all about because you're gonna have these really sweet, customizable exoskeletons. And why the hell would you allow yourself to customize a character that you cannot see? I love that. You can fly around. It's a fully open world. You got to see them fly around and also transition to underwater and see how expansive underwater. It looks really cool. You can party up. It reminds me of Destiny a lot as far as how it functions.
A little bit more detail because you started talking about like the graphics and stuff before talking about what the game is. It is a shared world looter shooter, not unlike Destiny. So, Destiny was kind of the first of its kind, and now we're starting to see like we had the Division come out, and now this game. Excuse me, starting to lose my voice. But this one looks really good. Now the graphics were phenomenal, but there was a lot of talk that I heard at least that it may be kind of a show off build. So at the end
it says pre-alpha.
I know, but because exactly, it's pre-alpha, so it's a small build that's made to look like it's made to show off and look really good. So when we get like the full game, will it still look that good? It will still look good, but will it look that good?
I want to have faith that it is because it's all running on their brand new engine, Frostbite. But I mean, that is a good point to have.
That in and of itself, I'm excited to see new engines start to come out.
I'm getting tired of Unreal.
I was going to say, a lot of things are still running on Unreal 4, and it's time to start building some new stuff. So.
This is very slightly off topic, but I would love to see PlayStation use Santa Monica's engine they built for the Order on something else, because that entire game's genesis was in essence to build that engine.
I imagine we'll get another Order at some point.
But BioWare also came out and said that they're trying to make this game as dense as possible and also pour enough love into it in the coming years because they want this game to have a multiple years long longevity. Like they want.
Well, they have an advantage as like Bungie has basically run a 3-year long beta for not only themselves but for anyone else who wants to make a game like theirs. Mm-hmm. So they've had the fortune of seeing how Bungie has delivered on an open world, shared world looter shooter and what they can do to make it better, make it theirs. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that they've come out and said that they want to make a dense world that lasts for years, I think is a direct jab at Destiny. And, Destiny 2 is promising to Activision, especially in earnings calls, has said that their goal with Destiny 2 is to not have content droughts, which is a big, tall order for anyone. But it sounds like Anthem's trying to do that also. Because
one of the things that really jumped out at me, just by the fact that BioWare, the people who are making this is something that you and I disagree a little bit with on Destiny. But one of my biggest things with Destiny is that all the quests, to me, feel the same because you're kind of running on the same track. But one thing I think BioWare has in their back pocket is that their games already are usually so expansive and have so much going on that I'm really excited to see what their side quest systems are like, because I really feel like they're all going to feel diverse no matter how big or small they are.
I agree. One thing I want to talk about real quick that we forgot to write down was Microsoft was able to secure PlayerUnknown's Battleground for console exclusively.
Gosh, you're right. We were just talking about this too the other day.
It's a huge move by Microsoft because it has blown up on the PC. Mm-hmm. It is so fun to watch. And if you don't know what Battlegrounds is, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, it's a battle royale game where 100 people are dropped into a large island where you have to loot, find weapons, find gear, and then you fight to the death until there's one man standing left. Or they have 2-man squads where you team of 2. It's all groups of 100, but you can have 1v1, 2v2, 4v4, or 8v8.
Right.
And it has been said that it was coming to consoles eventually. Lo and behold, Microsoft has secured its exclusivity on the Xbox. And
which sucks.
It feels bad, man, because that game looks so good. And as you may not know out there, we are PlayStation people. We own PlayStations. So I'm bummed about that.
Yeah. Another thing I forgot to write down is, in case you cared, Minecraft's coming in 4K so that your blocks can look extra sharp.
Well, the super duper texture pack looks beautiful.
Okay, that's true.
And that's what they're talking about. Also, since you're on Minecraft, it is cross-platform except for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation, they basically don't want it. And they were asked why, and they kind of gave a BS answer about how they can only control their own ecosystem, and they want to have a safe environment for their gamers, and they can't control others. And then the dude who was interviewing them, and I can't remember what article this was, so I apologize, but they asked again, well, Nintendo's joining in, and they're probably the most protective of their audience because of the demographic that they have, which is mostly kids. Mm-hmm. So what he had to say about that, and they said, well, everyone makes their own decisions. The head of publicity, I think, is the one who was answering these questions. I said, nothing is ever off the table, and nothing has been necessarily set in stone, but they're also not actively talking about it. So,
I saw an article floating on CNET, personally. I saw that too.
I was actually really excited because one of the biggest pet peeves I have about the PlayStation version is me and my group of gaming friends, which includes our youngest brother, and sometimes this one here, we like playing Minecraft, but you build your world and it's on your PlayStation. So if everybody wants to play, like, you have to have your game on. So like if I go to dinner and you guys still want to play, I gotta like leave my game on so you guys can still play. And this whole shared world update was gonna have online servers, all this stuff, and like now we can't partake in all that. Like, I was so excited. We can finally have just a huge world where anybody can pop in whenever they want, and
yeah,
not anymore. So anyways.
Last Night looks like a lot of fun. It's a platformer. It's pixely. It's 80s. It's noir. It's like Blade Runner.
Kind of looks like Blade Runner. It's like, it is truly the next step in pixel art or pixel graphics, because it just looks phenomenal. I would highly suggest YouTubing that trailer because it looks really good. That's Last Night. We already talked about it in our Ubisoft episode. However, Assassin's Creed was premiered at the Microsoft press conference.
More of a cinematic little debut.
It looks really good. It's set in Egypt. It's about the origins of the Assassin's Creed order. Beyond that, we don't know much more. But I'm excited that they've taken a couple years off to make this game, and I am excited about an Assassin's Creed game again for the first time in a few years.
Yeah, for sure. Syndicate, well, we didn't play.
Yeah.
Forza. We're not driving people, but Forza is a very popular driving game.
They actually use this to show off their Xbox One X 4K graphics.
Oh, yeah,
and my response was, that game or car games always look super beautiful, right?
Yeah, if your car game doesn't look pretty at this point in the game, you've done messed up.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
The new Mordor game. The new Mordor game looks good.
Again, it's not an exclusive, but it was shown off at this conference.
War of Mordor? War? I think it's War. It looks good. I've got the first one. I played it for several hours and then fell off the wagon and haven't gone back. And I probably will go back before this one comes out because this one looks really good. It's more in depth with the Nemesis system. Mm-hmm. Now you're actually building an army with these guys.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So like you'll beat somebody, take them over with your ghosty powers, and then now they work for you. And the whole point is you're building an army to take down Mordor from the inside.
Yeah, it's definitely like more so becoming a one-off, like its own story within the Lord of the Rings universe, which I'm kind of okay with because I love that world.
I think it's canon without being canon. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't step on. It's
like happening
toes.
In between the pages.
Yeah. So
the Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z. New Dragon Ball Z Fighter game.
Oh my goodness, we're back to the 2D fighting. When that's not to say that the game is in 2D, but you're fighting like old school Street Fighter style.
Right. Looks pretty. I love that we've gotten to this point now with the way the graphics are that cell shading can make it look like the cartoon, like a pretty version of the cartoon. I was like, I was like, it's like the show's happening on screen, but I'm controlling it. It's
Exactly.
so cool.
It looks phenomenal. One thing that does concern me is that they only showed Goku, Gohan, Little Gohan, Vegeta, Cell, Boo, Frieza. That's it. They only showed 6 characters. That concerns me a little bit. It makes me wonder if this is going to be like a smaller arcadey game.
Like super dialed back.
Yeah, instead of like a legit full-fledged fighting game with all the characters.
Because I will say there has been some fun in the functionality of the most recent games with the 3D world, because you get the sensation of like I'm flying around and finding the person.
Mm-hmm. It's never been the same though. Ever since Budokai, it's the original Budokai.
Yeah,
it's never been the same. So, which that one's kind of like beloved by Dragon Ball Z and fighter fans. So, hopefully it's going back to that. But like I said, I've got concerns that it might not be quite what we think.
Mm-hmm. And they closed it out. One of the main exclusives that they showed off. It's actually one of the main exclusives they showed off is we're getting Crackdown 3. If you're not an Xbox fan, you've been a fan of that franchise, you're getting a third one. I don't know a whole lot about it because again we're kind of PlayStation boys.
Showed off with Terry Crews in the cinematic. Terry Crews has been long rumored to be playing Doomfist in Overwatch, and when he tweeted that he would be at E3, everyone lost their minds and thought that he was going to announce Doomfist, and then we found out that Overwatch wasn't going to be at E3.
Right.
And then we were like, well, is he going to do something on his own? Why is he going to E3? Now we know. He's in Crackdown.
So they showed off 45 games at their conference in a little montage. Those were our top picks of the 45. A lot of them seem to be like indie games, and probably a couple others I didn't quite catch. Those were the ones that popped out for me.
Yep. I think that does it for this one.
I think so.
Leave us a rating and a comment down below. Be sure to let us know what you liked or didn't like coming out of the Microsoft. As you can tell, we're not that partial to Microsoft, but there was a lot of good stuff coming out of that press conference, regardless of how the presentation may not have sat well with us. So, be sure to check out all of our other episodes that may interest you from the E3 press conferences, and we will see you next time.